Spare Element, Episode 20, recorded 6 March 2013.
Episode 20.
20.
Woohoo! 020.
En español es 20.
Oh, this is Vito, by the way.
This is Clay.
This is Wolfie.
I'm John.
Oh, yes. Guest element tonight, John Ashfield, is back as a guest host this time.
Yay.
Hello.
And we have, you want to just get right into it?
Let's jump right in.
Okay, we have our guest tonight.
The Harts.
The Harts.
Not the band.
Not the band. No, far from the band.
Which one is Nancy?
I'm Tony Hart.
And Cody Hart. And you probably notice us in the Castro if you've seen us around with our koozies.
Yeah, that's right.
We have our names on our koozies.
Very, I guess, popular couple here, bear couple in San Francisco.
Is koozie code for something?
I was going to ask that.
I hope not.
And it depends on which hand you hold the beer in.
Yes, exactly.
So you
Left or
regularly
right?
are walking around the Castro drinking beer?
No.
No. It's soda. It's soda.
So here's one right here, and it has our tattoo, our little logo, and it says the Harts and Wulf. So.
Oh, at the 440. Yes, I've seen them at the 440.
They're always there. Yes.
There you go.
It's something we started a couple of years ago at Lazy Bear. We were handing them out to people as kind of a promotion of our marriage and of who we are. And it just sort of translated into every year creating a new set of cozies.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did you take the last name?
I
Cody?
did. I changed my last name. I changed almost my entire name when I got married. Yes.
Whoa.
That's right.
I think he likes you, Tony.
I think so.
I think there's serious commitment.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm not hiding from anything, seriously.
We've all reinvented ourselves a few times. No problems there.
No problems at all.
Well, tell us about yourself, the Harts. What do you do?
Well, we are very busy, involved in project management and working with corporations. I started my own consulting company a few years ago, and so I work with corporations trying to help them move strategic planning and projects along to get things done. And right now I'm working with eBay, and I'm working with them to try to overhaul their email program to talk to all their consumers.
Right, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but Tony, you're also on the board of Under One Roof,
Yes,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
Which was, there was a store here in the Castro,
Yes, there was. Yeah.
and then now it's moving, right?
Yes, we're moving to Crocker Galleria. Actually, we've already moved most of our product and fixtures there, and we're going to be having a grand opening to launch the new store there on April 1st. So,
It's amazing how much money you guys have raised.
yeah, it's been over $4 million. I'm sorry, over 22 years. So
Wow.
It's been, and again, I can't claim credit for that. That's all the founders and people many more years before me. But
Stop being so humble.
No, really,
Well-
it's really that the early years of the focus on HIV/AIDS brought a lot of money in, and money that was distributed back out. And the focus of Under One Roof is just to raise money to give to our HIV/AIDS and AIDS service organizations.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Cody, tell me. I interrupted. Go ahead and say about yourself.
Oh, it's about me now?
Yes.
Please? Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. Actually, I'm a recent traveler to San Francisco. I shouldn't say recent. We've been here probably 4 years now. But I lived in Los Angeles for 20 years and had an incredible entertainment career where I worked on many TV shows as a television editor. Completely changed careers. I left Los Angeles and got out of the entertainment industry and went to UC Berkeley, got a degree in project management, and have been working for an incredible company that is a dermatology company. You probably have heard of Proactive Solution. It was the solution that was created by our founders, Dr. Rodan and Fields, and we now have this incredible line of additional products that are sold in direct selling, multi-level marketing to people all across the country, and with plans to expand to other countries as well in the next.
For the record, Cody does have amazing skin.
He does.
Oh, I'm just glowing from this fabulous lighting we have here.
Also, for the record, I think we've been acquaintances for about 18 years.
Yes, Vito and I have known each other for many, many years. I think dating back to our Long Beach Pistons days.
Oh, yeah.
Out on the old patio before it was redone and turned into sort of a G establishment.
I spent so many hours in that bar. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But more about you guys. I also understand, I mean, this just a little bit more about Under One Roof, though, I think we should talk because it really deserves what's going on, the move and the new store. And I just read about this amazing mall.
Yeah, Cracker Galleria has been wonderful. They gave us this opportunity to move in there on the first floor. And what's really amazing about this is that they have also invited other retailers and food outlets from around the city. So we've got somebody from Noe Valley, we have the Mission District, we have Tomboy Tailors, which is a new really tailors focused on creating men's suits for women and things like that. So the first floor of Crocker Gallery is being transformed to be about different neighborhoods around San Francisco, all in the center of the city. So
it's a snapshot of San Francisco as a whole in one centralized area downtown.
We're just so thrilled to be there, and they've welcomed us. And in fact, we've already started working with them and talking to them about doing a major Pride event there. They really want to support the LGBT community, and our being there is going to be a great way for them to kind of join arms with us and the other people that are there to really extend ourselves beyond just the Castro, to really make sure that Under One Roof and all the different areas of different LGBT organizations can be focused on that area in the center of the city as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to go visit that.
Yeah,
it's in the financial district, right?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it's literally right off the Montgomery BART and Muni station.
Exactly.
I work in the Union Square area, and they have an incredible third floor restaurant.
Just this food court that's
like
with
a
all
food
these
court,
great restaurants. I mean, it's a really cool place. It's really transforming, and I think we're going to see a lot of cool things happening there. And for Under One Roof, it's a great opportunity because we're saving a ton of money by going there. We were paying this outrageous rent here in the Castro. It was taking the good away from what we were making to give to our partners away. So we're excited about having a much better situation. Hopefully can have some great sales, and hopefully can translate that into some profits to give to organizations that support HIV and AIDS.
Well, what I think is going to be fun is when the straight people go in and realize that it's, wait, this, what, there's a penis. It's penis pasta. What is that?
Well, my mother and grandmother were here in October of last year, and when they toured through the store that was here in the Castro, they actually picked out a number of items they wanted for Christmas. They're like, this is, okay, I know it's only October, but this is what you have to send me for my Christmas present.
Oh, wow.
Well, and actually, like I say, as we merchandise for the Galleria, we'll be focusing on a lot of San Francisco themed merchandise. So we have the San Francisco Mercantile, which consigns their goods to us there. We have some local artists and artisans that will be selling their goods there. I mean, it's really about trying to make Under One Roof a real San Francisco icon for all the things you want that you treasure about San Francisco. So, I think it's a thrilling opportunity. It's a great way for us to pivot as an organization and stay relevant, and hopefully attract a whole new crowd of customers.
Okay, don't forget the gay stuff.
No, we won't forget the gay. There'll always be gay stuff. I mean, the GLBT focus of our store will not change. I mean, that will be there. So
not at all. I mean, you can't walk into Under One Roof and not walk out with glitter on you. It's just impossible.
Exactly.
It's absolutely impossible.
Dorothy's shoes.
I can always tell when he's been in the store because he comes back with glitter somewhere on him.
Exactly. Everybody gets glittered.
And the book signings, those are awesome too.
Oh yeah, we were one of our good friends, Bud Gundy, launched his new book there a few months ago, and actually it was just so exciting. And I think Bud will tell you that the Under One Roof opening there and the book signing he had was a great launch for his book, which is called Elf. Elf. The name is escaping me now.
It's escaping me as well.
Escaping me, sorry, Bud. But Bud can correct us later. We've had Armistead Moppet there. We've had just so many great writers in our store, and we're excited about that.
Yeah, the store I've seen the back room with the storage and the Armistead Moppin books. not just the Tales of the City, but everything else that he has.
He's donated them to us to sell, so that's really cool as well. It's Elf Gift. I'm sorry, Bud. It's Elf
Gift. There you go.
And actually, Bud was really excited about that. So
getting confused with he's writing a new book as well, but we won't say anything about that until.
Oh wow!
Yes, he is a local talented author and KQED producer.
Yeah,
who's amazing and talented and very cute as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say he's very handsome.
Little pocket bear.
Yeah.
Getting back to our bear roots here.
Exactly.
You're an actual married couple.
Yes, we're a legally married couple, not in the state of California for hopefully not too much longer.
Exactly.
But we did get married legally in the state of Iowa.
All right.
Why did you guys go out of state? I mean, well, you had to, obviously, but why Iowa?
We're both Midwestern boys. I grew up in the Quad Cities, I grew up on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. My parents live on the Iowa side, which is Davenport, Iowa. And when Cody and I, we met and we found we had so much in common as Midwestern guys, and we just loved each other. And, I think we both just kind of realized that we found the person we were looking for all these years, and we decided, we have an opportunity to do it legally. And so we were going back to visit my parents, and we were visiting them prior to Christmas. And
it was kind of a kill two birds with one stone to meet the family, see the family for Christmas, and also get married.
Yeah.
Flew back there, and being Midwestern climates, it was very cold.
Yeah. 40 below zero wind chill that day.
Yes.
So it was pretty. In fact, our rings were sort of very cold on our fingers when we put them on. So
yep, and they've stayed there ever since.
Exactly,
which is wonderful.
How'd you guys choose your rings? I'm curious.
Actually, our rings are tungsten carbide is the strongest metal that's known to the planet, I think, and
it's kind of like our marriage and our life. It's unbreakable. No matter we've gone through the same ups and downs that any straight couple, any other married couple goes through, but we know in each other's hearts, and we communicate to each other on a daily basis that we're we're it for each other.
Yeah. So it's never easy. Like I say, we all go through those challenges in our relationships, but we support each other, and we try to put aside the silly, stupid things that cause challenges in your marriage or in your relationship, and just go on from there.
Was it a challenging time for your relationship when he was going around the Castro with his knee caddy?
Oh, my knee!
Yes. The knee caddy.
Yeah, that was that was a really tough period of time for him in particular. But then
to let the listeners know what that's about. This is Cody. Before I turned 40 on my 39th birthday, like 2 days before I turned 39, I decided I was going to go on this entire health kick where, I had quit smoking 3 years earlier. I had got a gym membership. I actually ordered a personal trainer, so that was going to start the day of my birthday. And I joined this incredible volleyball team, which you guys had on, called Balls of Furry. I went to a number of their plays or practices that they had at Bears in the Park. So Jeff Glover, you guys have had on the show before, have talked about that. And they said, well, we have the actual physical practices at one of the gymnasiums. It's very close to your house. Why don't you come by and check it out? And I said, perfect. I'm going to go. And gave Tony a kiss. He dropped me off. And an hour and a half into playing, I ruptured my Achilles tendon.
Ooh.
So that ended my sports career. That kind of ended it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it got me back into school. It got me taking classes at UC Berkeley for my project management degree.
Wow.
And kind of changed my direction and focus in life. So there's negatives to it, but there's positives.
It's always that way.
Yes, but it was kind of cool to roll around the Castro. And
I don't know if you've seen this thing, but it's really amazing.
It's a neo roller. It's very common.
You put your knee on it, but it's fairly new, isn't it?
It is. They probably had it in the last 4 or 5 years.
You put your knee on it. It's got
for anybody that cannot walk on a cast for any reason, for Achilles injuries, for ankle breaks, for femur, or anything like that, you can get one of these things, we got it off of Amazon. Amazon is one of our favorite.
And eBay. And eBay.
Oh, yes. And of course, eBay.
Amazon and eBay. I must say that to make
But
sure
it's great, and you see them all around. And I talk to people that I see, and I go, I know exactly what you're going through, and don't get too depressed, because it is depressing. It's hard to move around on, especially in San Francisco with hills.
Is that the same
Well-
thing that John from the HRC store, Joe and John?
Yes,
He had-
exactly. Yeah, we were planning on having a race down 18th Street here to raise some money for the AIDS life cycle, but they figured it would be too dangerous. They couldn't afford the insurance.
Given your collective
Yeah.
luck, that's probably
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I applaud you for staying mobile and getting out and about, because that's
No, this is an amazing community for people that have not visited San Francisco or haven't been here in a while. It's changing constantly, but it's still as vibrant and fabulous and full of bears and full of
we love
gayness.
being part of it. We just love we love, our event calendar every week is pretty damn full, and we try to make as many, fundraisers and things like that as we can, because it's just really, we believe in supporting the community, and we just love it. And on top of it, we like being out, and, there's always something fun happening. So,
And having a great, diverse group of friends, not only in the bear community, but the leather community, country western, drag queens,
corporate America.
corporate America,
Yeah.
even our straight friends too. We have wonderful straight friends that live here. We can't forget about them.
your fabulous holiday party.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, the Harts throw.
It gets
the very
bigger
first
every
one of the
year.
year, and it gets bigger.
Yeah,
and
we
bigger.
started doing that when we first moved into our new house in Balboa Park. We started having a holiday party there, and we wanted to put it on the calendar like in October, so we wouldn't be conflicting with anybody else's party. So we kind of have the holiday kickoff party, and
Yeah, we do this early. We do it, well, we kind of do it selfish reasons as well. We do it as early as possible in December so that we can get it over with and just kind of
Enjoy
have our
everybody else's
time during the
parties.
holidays and go
Exactly.
to everybody else's.
Yeah.
And not stress about when ours is going to be and
Yeah.
whose other parties are conflicting with ours.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
get the ball rolling. Well, we have another gay married person here at the recording tonight, Mr. Ashfield.
Yes.
Yeah, you went in a slightly different direction than Iowa to get gay married.
My husband Greg and I went to Vancouver,
All right.
and that was pretty. And we had a charming little wedding at a park across the street for this old lady. It was her next to last wedding that she was giving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty rad. It was good.
How does that, being in another country outside of the United States, how does that affect insurances and name changes?
This is the whole weird thing about it, and hopefully this will go away if DOMA goes away, and Prop 8, of course. But our lawyer told us to go get married, because the moment all those things happen, we're legally married, because Canadian marriages are recognized in the United States. And there's this weird thing where the state of California doesn't say they recognize your marriage, but for all intents and purposes, if you're married out of state, you're given all the rights that the people that got married in that window were given.
Interesting. That's right.
Yeah, so there's this whole weird, gray area with everything. So it just it made a little more sense to actually be married. So this way we could say, if we were, for instance, in some state that didn't have marriage, and if we got in a car crash or something, this way we could say, well, we are married in Canada. It kind of helps. We've been together since 1999, so we didn't really get married
Do you
for.
carry a copy of your marriage license in your wallet?
No, we do carry a card. Sort of. There's a card from our lawyer that kind of has kin and certain. What do you call it?
Does it have your lawyer's name on it? Is
Yes, it
promoted?
does.
Yeah, we see what that's
Yes, it
about.
does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I carry a copy of not only our marriage certificate, but also our domestic partnership for California.
Okay.
That's so you can get a Costco membership, Brian. All of that for a Costco membership?
It's
Really?
yeah. Well, it also makes my ass look good. Okay.
We should say we haven't. We've been very fortunate. We haven't had anything to worry about in our relationship with our marriage, and
Right.
the domestic partnership laws here in California are great. I mean, both of our companies have supported us through our insurance benefits, and of course, our families know. My daughter knows, that my husband is going to be making decisions for me while he needs to, and things like that. So I mean, we're fortunate in that regard.
Yeah, I think it was just for us that, both of our families are into our relationship, but it was just to have it simpler. I just had my mom pass away recently, and things get a little complicated. So we were kind of, let's, be grown-ups and do the lawyer thing and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
But you have you changed your names? Have you hyphenated?
No.
No. What's the reason behind that?
I like my name, and I think Greg likes his name. I'm kind of down with that. I have no problem. I mean, I am the lead singer of a rock band. I'm not changing my name.
True. But do you guys mix your accounts, your joint, you have a joint account?
We actually don't. You know, like we do have, we share bills, but like we split them. So like I'll pay some bills and he pays other bills. And
Do you think that divides or that separates a straight marriage from a gay marriage, where in a straight marriage, once you get married, everything's combined?
Yeah.
But now in a same-sex marriage,
but not necessarily. I know straight couples that
I
have
agree.
separate
Not
accounts.
100%,
Sure.
but for the most part, everybody likes, they think of when a man and a woman gets married, it's, one name, one account, one this.
That is the traditional way to do it, I suppose. I mean, we didn't get married when we could have, because at that point we were kind of like, well, we've been together all this time, and why buy into the heteronormative, blah blah blah, bourgeoisie, whatever. We've but at the same, it just kind of makes things easier, as far as legally, for those reasons.
John, do you have any children, whether biological or furry?
No.
Okay, because I mean that could affect your decision as to whether or not to be, married.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not anti-marriage or anything. I think it's cool.
no.
I was excited. Actually, the biggest thing that's changed for me since getting married is my wedding ring. Greg insists I have it. Like, I wanted to wear it on my right hand because I play guitar, and it still freaks me out. Like, when I go to play certain things, it clunks against the frets. It's like, and I'm like, wow, it's very, it's.
That can be
So
different.
now you have your own marriage sound in your music.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You
Yes.
can create your own sound.
Marriage sound, yeah.
Something to be fretful about.
Not that I'm
He's here all week, folks. Please try our prime rib.
John, how long have you been married?
Since September.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Congrats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tony and I, it's coming up on, 4 years in, December of 2013.
Oh, awesome.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I actually got my license from California, from San Diego County, and I married a couple during that window, a gay couple during that window.
Oh.
It was weird. I got it, and I really didn't take it that seriously. And then when they asked me to do it, and I did it, and I helped them with their vows and everything, it's like I really got how important it is, and how what a contribution I made for that tiny window when we were able to get married.
I should
Really awesome.
Are you still certified to be able to do that?
I am.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Contact Vito.
Well, just straight couples right now.
we might, the Harts may be, booking you soon, because we've only had a ceremony with the magistrate, just one person. We actually haven't had a, wedding. None of our, when I told my mom that, Tony and I got married, she was rather upset, because she thought that, there was this big ceremony and party and everything, and it wasn't. It was just, just the three of us, Tony, myself, and the magistrate.
But she said I wanted to make your dress.
But my daughter has big plans for our wedding. I mean, in fact,
our daughter,
she's very. She told when we were visiting her for Parents Weekend at WNL before we got married, and she was talking to all her sorority sisters about planning our marriage or planning our wedding. And again, as we decided just to do it very simply, very civilly, in a civil wedding through a magistrate, she didn't get a chance to do that. So she's saving up all of her energy for something out here, hopefully after we hear from the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be really fun. That'd be great.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we've kicked around the idea of definitely doing it here, Golden Gate Park or Stowe Lake area, somewhere around San Francisco. But we also have family in the Midwest, and throwing out the idea of our families making it easier for them to not have to travel as far, but our friends who love to travel, and Minneapolis is a great gay town.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll have to come back for Heart Wedding Part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me know.
Exactly.
I'm available. Let me know.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Well, you mentioned your daughter. What's it like being a gay dad?
Well, I was a straight dad for a lot longer than I've been a gay dad. So
really,
yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't. I changed my lifestyle back. It was about 2000. Through a lot of different reasons, and I won't get into that here. But when I did change my lifestyle, it was a bit of a challenge trying to figure out how to tell her. But I told her, and so
how old was she at the time?
She was just preteen. She was like 12. So,
okay.
She at first, just like any kid, you have to be you're a little bit surprised because first of all, your parents are getting divorced, and then your dad tells you he's decided to have a gay life instead of a straight life now, and so that makes it a bit of a challenge. But throughout those years of her growing up and being in middle school and high school, we had lots of discussions about that. In fact, she eventually became comfortable with letting some of her friends know and things like that. So all in all, in the end, we were like the Modern Family before Modern Family was on TV, because my ex-wife, who's a good friend of mine still, she works for the New Orleans Saints. We always congregated together. When Cody came into the picture, we were all together at Parents' Weekend during college and had all of our pictures taken together and all that kind of stuff. So, we've been lucky that she accepted it pretty well, and I guess all of our colleagues and friends around us have as well. But as far as being a dad of a amazing kid, I mean, I'm very lucky because, I've been able to help her be successful in her education. And she was, it didn't take much because she was always a very academic kid. And then she went on to work for, JP Morgan, and she's just actually gotten her promotion to be on the career track with those guys. So, we're really proud of her. She was just here in the city a couple weeks ago, and, we'd love to see her even more, I think.
Yeah, and she is extremely supportive of any human rights and gay rights and even
animal rights.
Animal rights.
Yeah.
She's just a very well-rounded young woman.
So she's not jealous of your furry children then?
No, she misses them. Yes,
them.
Especially since we just adopted a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
how many furry children do you have?
We have two now.
We have two. We have two little bears, a white bear and a black bear. Both of them are named after old English children's school books. We have Paddington Bear and Rupert Bear.
Oh,
there's schnauzers.
And there's many schnauzers.
So we got German
English bears. and we just, like I said, we just adopted Rupert. We found him off of Pet Finder, which is an amazing website.
Everyone should check that out.
You should. They find not only in your area but all over your state, and you can focus it down and filter it out to exactly the size and breed that you want. And they have purebred animals, which is awesome.
And sex.
Yes. Sex is great.
No, the gender,
the
sex.
animal.
Yes.
That's right.
You had me worried there for a minute, Vito.
Yes. Back to our furry children.
Sex with animals on petfinder.com. You heard it from Vito
No.
right here. Very old man.
What color hanky is that?
I don't even know if there's a hanky color for that.
You know what? Since this might be the last time we're ever on the air, why don't we take a break?
Yes.
With that, and we'll have a little talk with Vito about appropriate topics.
Oh, you guys.
No, Vito. So this is Clay.
This is Wolfie.
This is Vito.
This is John.
This is Cody.
And Tony.
And we'll be right back for you on iTunes. And if you're on the bearradio.net, this is the end of our first half hour for this recording.
And we're back.
Ta-da.
Episode 20.
Part 2.
020.
For our bearradio.net listeners, it's our part 2.
Part 2. This is Vito.
This is Wolfie.
This is Clay.
This is John.
This is Cody Hart.
And this is Tony Hart.
Hey. And we were
Harts.
just talking about the cozies. Drink cozies again?
People call them koozies, cozies.
They're just things to put your beer or your drink in, so
Yeah, they fit over.
your hand stays dry and your beverage stays cold.
It stays
There you
cooler.
go. That's
Yeah.
what it's
Is this
about.
a yearly thing that you do?
Yeah, we make about 300 or so a year and
Just pass them along.
pass them out. We take them with us. I probably have, on average, each day, probably about 4 or 5 with me. And I don't laugh. People are really interested in it. They remember it from childhood. Their parents had them. It was a very big thing many years ago. I won't say how old I am, but
Oh, you're talking about cozies themselves, not the Harts cozies.
Yeah,
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. I'm all, what? 4 years? I thought you guys were married for 4 years.
Yeah, no, they people love them. Like I said, there's actually a restaurant down in Thousand Oaks, California, that has one behind the bar, like it was a celebrity article of clothing or something that was left at their bar, and they have it back there, and they still keep it there. So it's kind of cool.
Like the underwear I left in that bar in Florida.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's another
The
story.
stuff that's stapled to the wall down in San Diego somewhere.
Exactly.
No, it's actually stapled on the ceiling at this bar in Florida.
Well, that's probably for another Bear Element show,
right.
where Vito will be our guest.
That's interesting. Boxers or briefs?
Boxer briefs, yes.
Boxer briefs.
So has anybody here been to a Taco Bell in the England or to an IKEA cafeteria in Europe recently?
No.
Horse meat!
I know. It seems to be a big to-do over in Europe.
Well, you know what's interesting is I was reading up about it, and apparently it was the Czech authorities, and they found horse DNA in the meat samples. So they have no idea how much. There's no indication of quantity. It's just the fact that it's there. And one of the things that IKEA was saying was, well, if it's less than 1%, it could have just been that they processed horse meat and didn't clean properly, and it's not adulterated with actual vast quantities of horse meat.
But it came in as a percentage, though, right?
No, so far it's just the fact that there was horse DNA in the meat sample. They're now doing the testing, independent testing to see if that in fact was a correct DNA reading.
But what are the standards for meat consumption in the UK? And because
that's what the EU is addressing now. They're like looking at, well, what standards do we have? And it's not about a health issue. There's no problem. You can serve horse meat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of false labeling.
Right. Well, Tony, you've traveled through Asia and you've seen the different types of animals that in the United States are for people would
just, you wouldn't think about it, but I mean, you go through a market in Hong Kong and you see snakes and bugs and crab and
monkeys,
chickens and monkey. I mean, you see all kinds of things. So I think it's just a matter of the different parts of the world we live in, and frankly, like say, I mean, here in the U.S., I think we probably think horse meat is, well, people thought it was just for dog food or something like that, but I mean, horses are a beast of burden just like cattle are, and I don't see an issue. I mean, of course, people eat goat and lamb, and
I wouldn't think they'd have a lot of meat on them.
But horses have more. I think people get a little freaked out because horses are viewed as more of a noble creature or as a pet, rather than some cow, one of 1,000, right?
Yeah.
So it is. I mean, technically, yes, it is meat.
I remember the first time I saw a photograph from a travel thing where the butcher was carving up dogs, and they're hanging the ducks, and it was an Asian culture. And I found that quite shocking. But now I find that a lot more comforting than when I was in Turkey. And if the fishermen found puppies, they'd chop them up and use them as bait. So, it's like, well, at least if you're eating the animal, it's the circle of life and value there.
Well, at some point, like if you're not a vegetarian, you have to accept that you are eating what is a living creature.
Absolutely.
What has been a living creature. So you can't be, this is a adult podcast, you can't be too much of a pussy about it, right? I mean, if you're eating a cow, that thing, I'm sure, could have been a great pet in some way for someone, and you ate it. So.
Yeah, and cows are considered, gods in certain parts of the world. And the idea that you could make a hamburger or even, pigs and all the creatures,
pigs are unclean in other cultures
and seafood. The things that we eat, it's just perceived by different people in different ways, and you have to. Don't mean to drive right down the center lane here, but you have to respect everybody's ideals, and hopefully they'll respect yours. You can keep your fingers crossed that they will, but it's different everywhere you go, and you have to respect that.
There is this like a panic about having horse meat in anything in the United States. I mean, I went to IKEA where they were in the news for having horse meat in their meatballs.
Only in EU, by the way.
But it ended up only being in the EU. But I went to IKEA today for lunch, actually, and they had a little sticker that wasn't there before saying that all of our meat is from the U.S. So they actually reacted to it.
Well, they have to.
That suggests that the USDA is pretty strict about labeling and making sure that people follow the correct regulations.
But look at how many
Probably.
cases of tainted, cattle that we've had with mad cow disease that
Ugh.
and
Salmonella from chicken.
exactly that happens in the United States, and they're complaining. People are up in arms about a little bit of horse
We
meat.
didn't have mad cow disease in the U.S., thank goodness. So that wasn't an issue here.
There wasn't? Are you sure?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm changing to a vegetarian.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it is good that this makes news because then it does keep people on their toes a little bit. I want to see corporations jump through hoops over this because then it just makes it maybe a little bit more certain that the food you're getting is better, or safe.
Absolutely.
I agree. That's fine.
So, I mean, that is what news is for, right? So,
Well, and Tony, circling back to the conversation about being a gay dad and good food and things like that. You have a little project underway.
Oh, that's right. I'm working on a cookbook called Daddy Bear's Kitchen, and it's basically a cookbook that's a lot of recipes from friends and families, people from right here in San Francisco that are contributing. And really, the idea is to put together a cookbook that will, while giving some good recipes from friends and family, will also help dads think about how they can get in the kitchen with their kids and cook. I mean, some of the best times I can remember were with my daughter growing up, and we were making, any number of things in the kitchen. It's fun because you're teaching your kids how to do some things. You are getting comfortable with the fact that you can have them use a knife at some point in time, to chop things up and be around a stove. So that's what my book is about, is to try to help dads, realize one, they don't need to be afraid of going to the kitchen to do something, but also can spend some great quality time with their kids. So
It'll also teach them to be self-sufficient and not have to rely. During college times, kids always go out to eat and fast food. Something like this, they can see how easy it is to make a healthy meal and to do that not just with their dads, but also with friends. And by themselves.
Yeah, teaching them techniques, and like I say, dads may be fearful at first about, can I really cut that in? Well, yeah, you can, because there's some simple techniques to use and things like that. But I mean, the idea is, as Cody says, is we all need to. Eating and cooking brings people together, and that's kind of a really exciting thing, I think. And we're lucky in our community of friends. We have weekly potlucks with local friends here, and we all cook and bring things together. And it's kind of neat that it's one of those things that whether you're having a communal dinner with friends or with your family, it's a neat thing. And I just really think it's important to try to perpetuate that.
Yeah, you get to share your history of cooking, like things that I learned from my grandmother growing up, with the people here in our community.
Yeah.
It does sound like a great idea.
Yeah, Cody's famous for his tater tot casserole that he brings from
hot dish. It's a tater tot hot dish, don't you? Oh, you betcha. It's the best thing, don't you know?
Exactly.
Well, I think it's a great idea because even though I don't have kids, some fathers probably had the experience I did, especially Italian, where I got kicked out of the kitchen when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get near the kitchen, so I didn't have any experience cooking growing up.
Yeah.
So having a cookbook like this for fathers that maybe don't have a lot of experience in the kitchen is a great idea.
That's what we hope. Yeah. So it's fun, and like I say, it's pretty interesting because I keep getting people email me other recipes, and it's like, okay, I got to try that out. And what I'm also trying to do in this book is also to figure out a way to make it one, economical as well as healthy. So we're not using lard, and we're not using a big goop of Crisco like we did in the past, and we're trying to make sure we make
no deep fryers.
Yeah, well, deep fryers sometimes is okay as long as you do it for a short period of time with the right kind of oils. But I mean, the idea is there's ways to cut calories, there's way to cut fat, there's way to cut sodium down, and we're all big guys, but we need to think about what we're eating at the same time, and I think it's important to teach kids the same thing. So,
will there be a chapter on horse meat?
I don't know about the horse meat thing because I've never had an experience with cooking it.
I'm just checking.
But I don't think I'd have a problem eating it. I mean, if it was prepared right, I don't think I would have a problem. So.
Speaking of offending vegetarians, my vegetarian friends were quite upset when I came back from Australia, and I said, "Oh yeah, when we were in Adelaide, we went to this wild animal preserve, and we were walking around feeding the emus and the kangaroos, and they were so neat. And then we were on Tasmania, we saw the wallabies." And we had them all for dinner, and they were very good.
Exactly. I know. I completely agree. I mean, like, emu, I would kill to have a
It was delicious.
Emu. It's fantastic. Yeah, totally. So,
Wait, did you? Or
Oh
did
yeah, it was really good.
yeah, emus. I mean,
Wallaby's a little
Whoa.
gamey, but
Yeah.
the emu and the kangaroo
Emu is really, really
awesome.
good.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well,
I've had buffalo. I've had rattlesnake, and I've eaten worms in a
I had
nice
a crocodile.
sauce. In a nice sauce. Crocodile. I've had crocodile.
Crocodile's good.
alligator sauce pecan down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
We love
yeah.
that.
Buffalo.
As a kid growing up in northern Minnesota, I would hunt deer and, eat the venison. My grandfather was actually incredible at making venison sausage, and, during the winter after hunting season, we would always have, venison for breakfast.
Wow.
And that's a meat that it takes a bit of getting used to because it is very gamey. But you think, people go, oh, that's Bambi. Yeah, but, it's
tasty Bambi.
Yeah.
I was on an airplane, and this guy tried to give me some venison steaks while I'm sitting in
On
an
the plane?
airplane on the plane.
Wow.
Venison at 30,000 feet.
Any other exotic meats?
No, it wasn't
Anybody's had?
jerky. It wasn't
No,
venison jerky.
it was steaks or whatever you want
Were
to
they
call them.
frozen?
Did he have a hibachi with him?
What is this?
They might have been
Was it
frozen.
being
I'm not
warmed in the galley?
sure. I'm not sure. I
Interesting.
don't remember. If I remember. I remember that.
I've tried rabbit. I've tried caribou.
Okay, rabbit.
Squirrel.
Squirrel?
Yeah, people used to hunt squirrel back in the Midwest.
Pheasant
Make
is
those
another.
into stew. Pheasant are fantastic. Yeah,
I never liked it. I didn't like it.
I love it.
No. Turtle is something we had in New Orleans.
Turtle soup
Oh,
is
okay.
a
Turtle
specialty in New Orleans. Yeah.
I had when I was in New Orleans, that's where I had the crocodile. It was really, really fishy and salty. How was yours, John?
It was super great. It was deep fried. I went to college in Florida, in Central Florida, where it was much more southern than I was led to believe, being a New Jersey kid.
Yeah.
But the food was delicious.
Yeah, blackened alligator is one of my favorite, and I'm not a big spice kind of guy growing up in northern Minnesota, but blackened alligator is delicious.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good.
Yeah, I had some gator. It was pretty good.
I would be going back to the topic of horse meat. As much as of an animal lover as I am, in the right setting, I would definitely try it. I would. I'm not opposed to it.
Thank God for Disney and The Lion King, the circle of life,
I'm still, I mean, intellectually, I can get my head around it for sure. It's meat, but I'd still rather eat chicken.
Well, speaking of
something,
chicken, when I was in the Philippines, I had balut, and I was out of 160
Oh.
Americans, I was only one of 3 that would try it.
Yeah.
What is balut?
Balut is a delicacy in the Philippines. You take an egg and you put it in an incubator, and then just before everything hardens, where the embryo has the beak and the feathers and the feet and everything, just before everything hardens is all gelatinous, you boil it. And then you tap the top off and you suck the broth out, which is like a really
my God.
salty miso kind of chicken soupy thing. It's really good. That's the best part. And then, we're losing Wolfie here.
Yeah.
If you hear retching sounds,
Yeah.
You're losing me too. That is one of the top 5 most disgusting things I've ever heard in my life.
And then, I'm not done. And then you break the shell open and you just scoop it out. It's like doing a little chicken abortion, and you eat it, and you can feel the beak, and you can feel the feathers, and you can feel the feet, but they're not done hardening. They're all soft. You just
Do you have a little piece of sourdough that you can soak in there or something? A little crouton.
Can we get a little sourdough bread bowl?
Yeah.
It's like that
picking
scene
that little
from
feather out of
Indiana
there.
Jones and the Temple of Doom. How
Not the
terrible
monkey
that was.
brain.
Well,
It's not the same
it's not
thing.
the same level.
The drummer in the Bobbleheads is from the Philippines, and his mom and dad are, and they would have these huge parties, and we would be practicing at their house, and they would just have like trays of that.
Oh, yeah.
that?
Oh yeah,
Clay
a lot.
has
Oh
it?
yeah, and they would be like, "Oh, do you want some?" And I'd be like, "Oh,
On the
I see you have like regular fish over there and rice. I'm gonna run over that way."
On the Filipino version of Sesame Street, they have a song, Balut, 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 Balut. Yeah, Balut is like, it's B-A-L-U-T. Google it.
Oh, I'm going to look it up and put a link on it.
When I told my sister that, she's
did
like,
you
"He's
enjoy
on
it?
Fear Factor." That was like a challenge on Fear Factor. And I'm like,
Did you like it?
I mean, I was a little grossed out by the feeling, but taste-wise, it was chicken. Tastes like chicken, because that's what it is.
Well, Scandinavian people have lutefisk, and lutefisk is disgusting in itself. So
Is that rotten shark or whatever?
well, it's a white fish that's soaked in lye.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, don't use
so
the fish word in front of him.
We're not going to just slam the Asian cultures here because the Scandinavians have their own.
What else can we talk about besides crawfish etouffee? I may have a few things like some alligator sauce pecan,
macaroni
like
and cheese.
mac and cheese. But
Yeah.
I don't think
Balut.
Mac and cheese with tater tots.
Yep, it's a little tater tot hot dish in there.
Yeah.
With balut. Balut and tater tots in a hot dish. Hey.
I'd say, if anybody has an interesting recipe that they may
please
want to
send
pass
it in.
along,
Yeah.
definitely send it through, and we'll get it to the
Oh, cool.
Daddy Bear's
Totally.
kitchen.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll get some out there. Well, Bill and I went out to eat last night in anticipation of going to see the Bay Bridge lights turn on at 9 o'clock. And then it started raining and we were total pussies in the words of Mr. John Ashfield and went home and watched it on TV. It's a 2-year art project.
2-year art project, 25,000 LED lights that
12 inches apart, all up and down.
up and down the Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
That's
For our
like,
listeners, this is the Bay Bridge, not the Golden Gate Bridge. The Bay Bridge goes from San Francisco to Oakland.
And this is the western span that's now being outshadowed by the new eastern span that's being built. So they had to do something.
Spice it up a little.
Oh, so it's the part that goes from the island to the city.
Correct.
yes.
Oh,
And it's only on the north side of the bridge, and it's designed to be viewed from the waterfront.
Oh, okay.
That's
And-
quite beautiful.
Yeah, the goal is to bring in tourists. The city has some really kind of crazy optimistic plans about how many millions of tourists will come in the next 2 years to see it.
Yeah, they're talking about all the restaurants that'll be booked down on the Bay Embarcadero area to see
and they
these
were
lights.
last night. They were all sold out. So
Yeah, and the artist says that it's going to be a random pattern, and no pattern will be repeated ever in those 2 years,
right.
which is incredible. But I think the city, this is where I'm going to turn my opinion. The city could have spent money, could have done something a little bit more positive for.
Wasn't it all privately funded?
It's privately funded.
It is, but you know what? The city can focus on other things. We have a lot of other issues. Tony, you talk about it yourself.
I think it's a
The
good
streets need to be fixed.
Well, yeah, but
Our neighborhood.
Yeah, and if people want to open their private checkposts to clean our streets and pick up trash, then I do it, please. But I mean, this is a really beautiful thing. I mean, this is the largest art installation, lighted art installation in the world now, even bigger than the Eiffel Tower. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, of course, it's it says it's going to be over 2 years, but knowing San Francisco, we will never let it go. It'll be here forever.
Yeah.
I mean, once it's here, we will figure out how to support it.
Well, I mean, why not have nice things, though? I mean, because I hear that argument all the time, being a public school music teacher. So, whenever there are budget cuts, it's always like, well, why do we need that?
Right.
And I would think part of having a civilized world is that we do have a bridge with cool lights. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay, even if it was my taxes going to pay for that. I think my taxes could also pay to have nice sidewalks and streets and stuff.
Well,
but
and in fact, I think
why not have both?
Less litter in the
that's
city.
an important thing to say because, like I say, we've let so much of the arts go away with all these budget cuts.
Oh, right.
The Republicans keep wanting to cut PBS and things like that. I mean, come on. We are one of the best civilizations that's ever been part of this earth, and we need to make sure that we continue to perpetuate beauty and art and knowledge and music and all the things that are important. And I think, San Francisco is a great example of that. I mean, our city is this gritty little city that sits on the bay, and it's not always clean and pretty, but you know what? We have a lot to offer. It's a great place to walk around and see beautiful things. Our Golden Gate Park, Crissy Field. I mean, it's just amazing. We have all these incredible things, and this is one other addition I think that's going to make our city even more attractive to come to.
For a moment, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate, I mean, you talked a little bit about the Under One Roof store, and I work part-time at the HRC store, the Human Rights Campaign store, and it's all retail fundraising. And oftentimes I always feel like when I see a lot of these charity things, we're roller skating for charity and we're clogging for charity, and it's like, can't I just give somebody some money and we don't have to go through all this? Why do I have to buy all that glitter so that HIV organizations have money? Can't I just give them money? But I think that's just part of the human experience, that we really strive for artistic value, and we like coming together and doing things, and whether it be creating music or art or dance or
Well, I mean, of course, but I think there's an argument to be made for even like driving around in your car and you look up at the bridge and it looks groovier than usual. is a positive impact on everybody.
Exactly.
You know, like why not? You know, otherwise it's like, why have Golden Gate Park? Let's just put in some condos.
Sure.
You know, why? I mean, because then it just becomes.
I see what you're saying, and it drives more people to not only come and see that art installation on the bridge, but then you get to see all of the different art installations that are done along the Embarcadero.
Exactly.
Our friend Drew was part of a design crew that put in the rocket ship,
Yeah.
and the they had
Arrow thing?
there's the big arrow that's also along the Embarcadero, but then you have Coit Tower, and you have all the
Walt
the
Disney
piers,
Museum
and there's a chocolate factory that's in one of the piers, and there's so much that can be that's driving people to not just see the lights, and I understand that, but I also think that there's a lot more that could be done to the city to make it beautiful than just put up a bunch of lights.
I know every time we go over and cross the Bay Bridge and we hit those big potholes, we both scream, "God damn! Pave this fucking road!"
Yeah, we live where Tony and I live is where all of the streetcars from the F line come in park. And it is just a mess. I mean, not only is it streetcars, but it's Muni lines that go above ground. There's a BART station that's right there as well. So all of it come together, buses, and the streets are just a mess. And the city is doing a lot of great work and actually improving a lot of their parks. There's Balboa Park, there's Cayuga Park in our neighborhood, a number of other parks throughout the city that they're completely redoing and improving, which is amazing. And hopefully at some point they'll get to actually fixing the roads that bring you to those parks.
Right.
Yeah. But they can, once again, I think just like it's all up to us as people who live here to make sure it happens. And we have to keep asking those questions about how can we improve this area.
And
we're so lucky, we really are very lucky to have all that we have. And like I say, we all get frustrated by litter and.
Yeah, I want to put my husband on a pedestal because in our area there does tend to be a lot of litter because it's kind of a blind street and it's a one way. And for a couple of years, he has gone up on weekends and personally cleaned it up himself. He's picked up the trash so that people that come over to our house and come to our neighborhood and the people in our neighborhood have actually seen that and started pitching in. So it just takes one person to start it.
That's what we have to do. That's what it's being. Barack Obama said it's about being citizens of this country. I mean, it really that's what it's all about.
We all have to pitch
we
in.
all have to remember that we were lucky to be born in America, and we have to continue to do what we need to do to keep our country and our city and our neighborhoods fantastic because it's our responsibilities.
And hats off to you, because I'm still amazed when I pick up in my neighborhood. A lot of dogs go through, and people just drop the poo bags at the bottom of the stairs because there's no trash can at the bottom of Billy Goat Hill. Mm-hmm. There is at the top. So I'll pick them up and bring them home with me, and I've had people be like, "Oh, well, bless you, I'm loving you." And I'm like, "I'm just cleaning up my neighborhood, because I'm tired of there being dog shit everywhere. At least it's in a bag." But you're right. We have to pitch in.
Mm-hmm.
It really shouldn't be that surprising when we do all that. Well, there's another big landmark that's bringing thousands, if not millions, of people back to San Francisco. What happened last weekend, boys?
The Eagle reopened.
The Eagle.
Yes. Yes, people have been talking about this for quite a long time.
It was wonderful. Tony and I have actually been on the Eagle in Exile emails from one of the bartenders who've been keeping the faith in the... No, actually, Gary Kenyon.
Oh, he's doing
Gary was. Yes. Doug has been, a great supporter of the bar and bringing it back to life. And the people in their community have done an incredible job of keeping it part of our community. And it looks amazing. Tony and I were there on Friday.
We were there the opening night, and we were impressed by what they did. I mean, it wasn't a giant change, but it was some really smart changes that opened that bar up. And frankly, like I say, it's one of those iconic things of the city that's great to see back. Now, is it going to be the same as it was before? No. But you know what? That's okay. Everything should evolve. And I know a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, well, there's lots of hipsters."
Well, you can still have
area there, but you know what? That's. I guess we're all going to have to learn. The great thing about San Francisco is we are all this giant, diverse melting pot. And like I say, we need to figure out bears and hipsters and and let's
Well, there were lots of
everybody.
yeah. I mean, there were a lot of complaints when the Lone Star got new owners, and
Yeah.
they made some changes. But I didn't really understand it myself because
Well, I was concerned about the Lone Star too when it had the new owners, and
Why?
there was online because there was a lot of people complaining online, and it ended up being totally false. I feel totally comfortable with the Lone Star. It's great. There's no problems at all.
my whole view on it is that people are getting older. And they don't like it, you know, because like okay,
Back in my day.
right? It's I mean, I'm 44, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to a bar on Tuesday night and dropping $50, right? And but you know, kids that are 25 are, so they're not going to cater to me. They're going to
remember
cater to
those
the
days.
people that are out drinking.
Well,
right?
I don't
and
think
that's how it goes.
I mean, we had the new owners of the Eagle on the show. Their intention is to have it be exactly like it was before, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it is going to attract another element that that the leather community and the bear community isn't used to, and half of me I'm okay with that, and half of me I'm not. A friend posted online, look at these hipsters, look at these effeminate guys, you know, in line at the. He was very upset about it, but I go with you, John. I think it's just because we're old and we.
But you know what you need
yeah, whatever.
Vito, what you need to do is to pass on, because we're all going to grow old. We're all going to grow old and die.
Yeah.
If you, it's not going to be the same as our generation was when we were in our 20s going to the bars.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is keep this going on, but pass on the traditions and history. You know, let them know that this is what happened. These are the people that paved the road for you to be the hipster and be the open person that you are, and to pass that on and continue those traditions and these establishments that have been around for
Well, we don't really have a choice. They need to thrive and survive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't go out as much as I used to, so they need that new blood to survive,
and
even
that
if
was-
they're not planning on
And
it.
that was opening weekend. Who knows what it's going to be like next weekend or the weekend after
The scenes
that.
also change, right? I mean,
Yeah,
the Castro
exactly.
wasn't the gay place in the city originally.
Very
it
true.
was
Very true. It was
Polk, right?
Polk area.
So
Yep.
things change, and that's okay. I mean,
I agree.
But it is
It's exciting to see it back open.
It is very exciting to
a
see it back
landmark of
open. I love the guys, Mike and Alex are just so awesome. Their intentions are just amazingly pure.
and Thursday Night Live will be coming back.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
is
Tomorrow.
night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
So when you come to the city to see the city lights on the Bay Bridge, you can also see the reopened Eagle, the reimagined Eagle, and
Soma's back for the Bears. You can go and walk. What?
Well, take
a quarter mile to
take a tour
between-
through the Castro, go back down through the financial district to Under One Roof at Crocker Galleria, and then work your way to Soma, just down the street
There you
to
go.
Lone Star, Eagle,
Costco.
when you
Costco,
said
Cock.
Oh, the food truck park.
Oh, the food truck.
Cock
Yeah.
closed.
Oh, Cock closed.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
the food truck park,
Damn.
that's
Oh, the food truck park is
Love
brand
that.
new.
Yeah, that's great.
So-
You know, when
Yeah,
you said
so-
reimagined Eagle, I just was envisioning the Eagle with lots of lens flare.
Well,
It's
unfortunately, we're
great.
out of time, guys. But if any of our listeners have opinions about the Eagle, pop them on our page, and I will start off our back scratches tonight. I'd not only like to thank our regular elements that are here, Tim, who couldn't be here, but thank you, John, for pinch hitting. I
Oh,
appreciate that.
thank you for asking me.
Thank
It
you
was
for the
fun.
hearts.
Yeah, thank you.
And,
yeah,
and thank you for
wonderful.
the 766 people who have liked our page.
Amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
awesome, guys. Congratulations.
Yay. And 11
Keep it
people are
going.
talking about us. Hopefully they're saying nice things. Yay.
Yeah.
Of course, Bill for putting up with me, with Scarlett for being the love of my life. Don't tell Bill. And that's it for me. Wolfie, you have any back scratches?
Let's see, my friend Frank, who joined me down in Palm Springs for a spell, and the people who own the Barefoot Inn for a really nice time while I was there. Thank you very
All
much,
right, you
guys.
went.
Thank you.
All right,
Well,
Mr.
that's
Vito.
great. Well, of course, I want to back scratch Tarek. Also, I'm sorry, Tim. Yes, we really missed you tonight. Hopefully, we'll be able to make it next time. And I want to back scratch our guest host, John Ashfield,
Well, thank you again.
and then, of course, our guests, Cody and Tony.
Oh, and quick side note on Tim. The reason he can't be here is he got a new job and he's in training. So it's a good thing.
It's a very good
Congrats to
thing.
Tim.
Definitely.
Very good thing.
Yay. Mr. John, how about you?
My husband Greg, of course, and the last weekend, my band, the Wonellies, recorded a live album in my house. So
Cool.
back scratches to the Wonellies and our friends that
Very
helped us
cool.
record it, and Doug Hilsinger, who produced it.
Cody,
Well, I want to
going around the room.
Yeah, backscratch to all the guys here for having the Harts on. It's an honor and to be asked to do this and to be heard by so many. I'm also going to send some out to the San Francisco SPCA for what they do, and also Pets and Pals, a small little organization where we got our new furry little addition, Rupert Bear Hart, for what they do out in near Tracy, California.
Great.
So big scratch to them.
Awesome. Last but not least.
And I'll just add my thanks to you guys again for asking us to be here. We enjoyed it. And I'm going to say that I'm so proud and honored to be part of the board of directors of Under the Roof. You know, we're an all volunteer leadership team. There's nobody paid for what they do. And the amount of time that it takes to keep a nonprofit running in this city with pluses and minuses is really tough. And I've got some amazing colleagues that I work with, and I'd be more proud of the results that they produce and how we all believe truly that supporting the cause of raising money for HIV and AIDS is really important, and we're going to keep it up. So they're the best people in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Fantastic. Hey, quick question about your new location. Will it be as pet-friendly as the Castro location was?
You know, I think so. I mean, the
Cool.
Crocker Galleria seems to have lots of people walking their dogs through there, so we'll have a dog bowl there, and we'll be having some treats behind the counter.
Scarlett really misses you. She keeps walking up to your empty door going,
poor babies.
"Where's my treats?"
I know, it's sad.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, the dogs know where the treats are.
They know where the treats
Look
are.
at that.
Exactly.
Well, we'll have all sorts of links to everything that the Hearts are into and the lights. You should definitely go to the website just to see the new lights.
Well, that's it for our 20th recording.
Pretty crazy, huh?
20th anniversary.
That's
Oh, 20th recording.
It's
Not
part
20.
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's hope for a 20th anniversary.
exactly.
Yay.
Wow.
So, well, all right, we'll see you next Tuesday. See ya.
Visit us at bearelement.com.